Somebody I know has count them four Christmas trees. He's definitely a Forest fan. Oh, another Starbucks 3 miles away. Costa Coffee 10 miles away. Swivel on it. Swivel on it. You bought me a Costa Coffee Christmas card voucher and you haven't even seen if there's one near where I live. Stay on M6 for 54 miles. Hello everybody and welcome to Driving with Goldbridge. Driving home for Christmas. I can't wait to see those haters. Driving home for Christmas, yeah. I'm not driving home for Christmas. I'm driving home for chicken nuggets and chips because it's Thursday night for me. Might not be Thursday night for you. It's not driving home to see those haters as well. I think it's driving home to see those faces. Driving home for Christmas. I can't wait to see those faces. Yeah, imagine if you were driving home for Christmas and you said, I can't wait to see those haters. Like, you know, after a long drive, you get inside, you know, like nice log fire, Christmas tree lights, cosy, little mulled wine and a mince pie, and then dotted around your living room are a load of haters. You're a Forest fan. Yeah, doesn't really work, Chris Ria. You want to see, after a long drive, you really want to see faces of comfort and joy. Anyway, how are we all doing? I've not done a video on this channel for a while, so I thought, you know what, I'm driving back from Manchester, so let's do a video of me driving back from Manchester. It's a bit windy, you know. There's a bit of background noise because we're on. I nearly said because we're on the internet. We're on the motorway. Who knows what the audio is going to be like, but lots to discuss, of course. We are approaching Christmas. That's not a town on the way from Manchester. We're actually approaching Northwich, A556. But we are approaching Christmas, not in a road sense, in a journey sense, yes, but it is a date in the December calendar, the 25th, and we are a couple of weeks out from that at the moment. Have you got your Christmas tree up? Are you hanging up your stocking on your wall? Are you hanging up your stocking on your wall? Are you hanging up your stocking on your wall? Are you hanging up your stocking on your wall? Have you got your Christmas tree up? I've actually just been to Costa Coffee. Big shout out to Costa Coffee. They don't need it. They're a massive franchise. Because I was hungry. I didn't, you know, how ironic. I went into Costa Coffee, but I didn't buy a coffee. I bought a bottle of sparkling water, which I resent, and I bought a turkey and stuffing and cranberry toasty, which was very nice. So yeah, I enjoyed that. My jeans didn't enjoy it. I'm a bit pissed off about that. Yeah, I know. Why do you resent buying sparkling water, Goldbridge? I just don't think you should have to pay for water, which you actually do anyway, even water rates. But I'll never really buy still water from a garage or a shop because I prefer. I just don't like to do it. I really don't. I'm a little bit nervous with my driving here at the moment because I've got Cheshire Police in front of me, and they're a boring police officer who's adhering to the speed limit. Oh, there's spray on the road. But yeah, water. I always buy sparkling water. I just can't give them the satisfaction of buying still water because it's like I can get it from a tap. Not that the water's there going, oh, look at you paying £1.20 to buy a bottle of me when you can get it from a tap, but I just always feel better if it's carbonated. But yes, have you got your Christmas tree up? Because I have. And I think there's a bit of a greed around Christmas trees these days as well. Have you ever noticed, like, people have more than one Christmas tree? When I was a kid, you were lucky if you got one Christmas tree, although we always did have one Christmas tree. I'm not going to pretend that I didn't. Most people have a Christmas tree. But some people have 3 or 4. Like, there's I'm tempted to say John, but I'm going to leave him out of it. Somebody I know has 4 Christmas trees. He's definitely a Forest fan. But he might be a Forest fan, I don't know. But he has got 4 Christmas trees, and he doesn't actually live in a big house. He's only got a 3-bedroom house, with nothing wrong with having a 3-bedroom house, but how has he got 4 Christmas trees? Well, he's got one on the front of his house, he's got one in the living room, one in the kitchen, and then one on his landing, which it's not even a landing. Like, if you've got a 3-bedroom house, it's a walkway. They're knocking baubles everywhere. But yeah, people, it's just a new thing, isn't it? People have to have more than one tree now. Whatever next. But yeah, I do like Christmas. I do look forward to it. Unlike some people, they will remain nameless, but more than one family member and friend have said this to me over the years, and it really annoys me, because keep your opinions to yourself is what I would say. And you know what I'm going to say? Well, you don't. I could say anything. I'm quite off the cuff. But what I'm actually going to say is, have you ever come across these people who say, yeah, we're not really bothering with Christmas this year. Yeah, we're not really bothering with it either. Yeah. I remember, I think my first induction into this misery and total abandonment of joy and comfort and joy was probably when I was about 13. I forget where I was. Certainly wouldn't have been in a pub at that age, but I think I must have been round somebody's house. It could have been a grandparent. I don't know. I'm slandering them really, and most of them are dead now, so it's not very fair. But so let's not say it was a grandparent, because in the main they did love Christmas. Always used to like going round, and they'd say, "What do you want for Christmas?" Pass you the Argos book. You'd star a load of stuff and then get none of it. But it was the thought that counted. Why bloody ask? Why bloody ask? Why, you know, that's what really annoys me, like. And there might be somebody watching this who knows who I'm getting at, but what would you want for Christmas? I've got no idea what to get you for Christmas. Okay. You want me to basically tell you what I want? No, just give me a few ideas so that it comes a bit of a surprise. Oh yeah. It's like saying tonight, what do you want? Pizza or curry? It's not going to be a surprise if I get pizza, and it's not going to be a surprise if I get a curry, is it? I know I'm getting one or the other, but no, in the spirit of it, in the spirit of Christmas, I will tell you some ideas of what I'd like. I wouldn't mind a new pair of trainers. I wouldn't mind this computer game. Wouldn't mind this book. Wouldn't mind this jumper. Okay? You wake up on Christmas Day morning, you open the present, you've got a bit of an expectation it could be any of these things. You open it up, it's a bottle of whiskey. Didn't ask for it. But you like whiskey. Didn't ask for it. Why did you ask me for ideas when you had an idea? A bad idea. But you used to love whiskey. When did I like whiskey? You used to drink Jack Daniels and Coke. Yes, I did. How old was I? Well, wasn't that long ago. It bloody was. I was in my bloody early 20s. Decades ago. Not decades ago. Over a decade ago. Let's leave it at that. Well, I thought you liked whiskey. I tell you what I do like. I like a jumper. I like a pair of trainers. I like a computer game. And I like... I've forgotten the other thing, but you've forgotten everything. So yeah, why ask? That used to happen to me a lot as a kid. Go around the family members. I'm not going to name them because they'll get moody. And pick what you want. Give me some ideas of what you like from the Argos catalogue. And over here we used to get 2 catalogues. We get the Argos and Index catalogue. And you'd be there with a pen, you'd star it all out, and you'd be like... The thing is, I was always very conscientious as well. I didn't put stuff that I knew they couldn't afford in. Like, I wasn't one of these prats who, you know, we weren't particularly well growing up, so I never used to ask for, like, you know, expensive stuff. I'd go for something middle of the road. Still didn't get it. And the worst thing is, they get you total crap as well. I've always been a big advocate of saying it how it is on Christmas presents, and I'm always like, you know, I've always been quite good at maths, and on Christmas Day morning, you open your presents up and you get your good stuff, and then you get your stuff that you're like, why have they bought me that? And then I'd add it up. I'd go, okay, so that's cost them a £5. It's absolutely useless. And then they've got me 3 load of crap things for a £5. That's 15 quid. You could have got me for 15 quid. You could have got me a bottle of whiskey. No, but you could have got me something that I really that you put no thought into it. You know what you've done? You've gone into Boots. You've got about 10 different presents you need to get. You've seen 3 for 1, you know, the old 3 for 1s, and you've gone and just blitzed it and bought a load of shit instead of actually thinking it through. And then you've wrapped them all up in late August and said, I'm well organised for Christmas. You're not well organised. You've basically bought everybody a load of shit and wrapped it up early. I'm not bitter though. I'm not bitter. No, I'm not bitter. But anyway, going back to what I was talking about, I'm rambling. I'm having a Christmas ramble. Traffic's going steady. You will reach your destination in 1 hour and 21 minutes. Good. Good. Do I need any petroleum on the journey? Well, the car says 105 miles range, and it is 76 miles. Well, we'll be fine. The next user of the car can get the petrol. But yes. Are you hanging up your stock? Oh, there's a police car on the bridge. I can see you. As somebody who used to work in the industry, I don't like the hiders. That's something else that annoys me as well. This bloody annoys me as well. Oh, I tell you. Let me tell you this before I tell you that. So, there's a road about half a mile away from where I live that leads to quite a nice place to live. Dorwich, it's called. I don't live there. I wouldn't mind living there, but there's some affluent people there. Most of them have worked hard to get there. Some of them have probably drug dealers or inherited it, but you know, each to their own. And there's a road that you can go from Dorwich into Solihull, and it's a bit of it's a long and winding road. The long and winding road. Boop, boop. Anyway, it's a long and winding road, and I think it's a 30, but the reality is, it's a chore to stay to 30. It's you know those roads where it's a 30 and it's actually difficult to keep to a 30 because it's like it's got a hill. And I've just realised I might be in a 50 zone here. I can't be in a 50 zone. Are people just driving slow? What's going on? Hey lorry, what's going on? I can't see any speed limits. Why are we not going faster? Anyway, so yeah, it's hard to keep to a 30. So, whoever's in charge of this, I blame the government. There is always, on the regular, a speed camera car, van, on that road. And you know what the arseholes do? You come down from Dorwich into Solihull and you come down a hill. So what happens when you're going down a hill? Momentum. So even if you're keeping to 30, when you go down the hill, the car's going to go quicker. You've got to get on your brake to keep yourself to 30. At the bottom of the hill, there's a bit of a hedge, and then next to the hedge, there's a drive. They park their speed van hidden by the hedge. So you don't know they're there until you go past at the bottom of the hill. Too late. They've been getting people there for ages. Now, people will say, well, they can afford it, they live in Dorwich. Not the point. Not the point. Just because somebody can afford it doesn't mean they should have to pay for it. And also, the big thing that annoys me about the most about this is that do they go and do it in more in the hood or gangster areas or poorer areas or areas where you'll get beat up for doing something like that? No, they target people who've got money. Now, that is not right. Now, people will say, well, they can afford it, but that's still an ism. I don't know what ism is. But basically what it is, it's cowardism, because you're not the victim, I'm not the victim. If I've got £100 in my pocket and I can afford it, and you've got £10 in your pocket and you can't afford it, that's not the point. These people in these cars, they're purposely parking up with their speed cameras in areas where they can pick off low-hanging fruit. Because if they went and parked in certain other areas of Birmingham, they'd lose their tyres and probably their teeth. But yeah, they're always targeting the same people. And also, it's cowardly because you know it's a hill where it's hard to stay to 30 miles an hour. But going back to Christmas, simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Yeah, come on, Paul. Come on. Yeah, come on. This is simply having a wonderful Christmas. Anyway, some people aren't having a simply wonderful Christmas, which I was talking about before. These people who go, yeah, we're not really bothering with Christmas this year. Now, my first interaction with this, as I said, was probably when I was about 13 and looking for some. Well, it was for me. I can't remember who it was. It could have been a family friend. It could have been a family member. And as I said, they basically, I just remember they were either around our house or we were around theirs. And you know, it was probably about this time of the year, and as a kid you get more excited about Christmas. And they were like, I was just listening in, and they were like, yeah, we're not bothering with Christmas this year. And I was like, what? They weren't talking to me, they were probably talking to a parent or something. And yeah, there was something along the lines of, and I've heard it so many times before, yeah, we're not bothering with Christmas before. And then somebody says to them, you're not bothering with Christmas, you love Christmas, you normally have all the family around. Yeah, this year we're not going to bother, we're just getting little presents for everybody, and then me and Alf are going to just stay at home and have Christmas on our own this year. We're just not that bothered about it. How can you stay at home for Christmas when your husband's called Alf? It's only one letter away from Elf. That's what I said at 13. I'm disgusted. But no, over the years I have had this, and I've had it again this year. People go, yeah, we're not really bothered too much about Christmas this year. Like it's a fucking choice. Oh, you're not going to bother about the celebration of the birth of Christ this year, are you? You're going to have a year off. They don't like that. They don't like it when you make Christmas about what Christmas is actually about. If it's a year off Santa and presents, oh, they feel very morally correct. Tell them it's about Santa's birthday and Jesus' birthday. Oh, it's all right then, isn't it? But the biggest issue with taking the year off, if you are thinking of taking the year off, if you are thinking of those words coming away from your mouth, I'm thinking about we're not gonna make much of a fuss this Christmas, we're just gonna stay in and have it on our own. Think on this. And I said it to somebody a couple of weeks ago. They said, yeah, we're not really going to do much this Christmas, we're just going to, you know, have a quiet one. And I went, what, like COVID was last year? You don't know how many more you've got left. And they went, well, what does that mean? And he said, well, you'll be having a very quiet Christmas when you're dead. You won't be able to see your family and friends then and enjoy comfort and joy, will you? And I just stormed out. Last I heard, they're having a big Christmas party on Christmas Eve now. My work here is done. But there are some miserable shits about, aren't they? I mean, the last Christmas was the worst Christmas ever. It was the worst Christmas ever. It actually wasn't. Christmas Day was nice, but I shed a tear on New Year's Eve. The most depressing New Year's Eve ever on lockdown, watching shit TV, trying to play the game of life and pretend that you care. But no, yeah, I don't get it. It's almost like people do feel like every other Christmas, oh, I just can't bother with Christmas this year. Well, tough. Get on with it and enjoy it. Have a glass of mulled wine. Pull a cracker. I did 18 years ago. Now she's my wife. We've not been married that long. But yeah, miserable people. And of course you got the people who are doing it on purpose. Got the people who are doing it on purpose. Oh, we're not going to bother much this Christmas. Oh, do you want to come round to ours? Yeah, we'll be there at 8. We'll stay for 5 days. Talk about Christmas parties. We've had all this drama in the UK about these parties that the government have apparently had. Which, you know what, I don't like to get political, but government, political party. I could have had a joke there. I could have said, why is everyone having a go at the Conservatives? They are a political party. Doesn't really work. But look, of course, last year was a bad year. Why? Oh yeah, COVID. COVID happened last year. It's still happening now. People had to spend Christmas apart from people, and apparently the government was having a party. Got to say, don't agree with the government having a party, because do what we say, not what we do. But it's the moral high horse that some people put on. Oh, it's outrageous. It's outrageous, Gary. It's absolutely outrageous, Gary. I can't believe... Let's have a protest. I can't believe the government's had a party. It's bloody outrageous. I guarantee if I had a camera out outside that person's house over Christmas, 5 days, they were at parties, they had people around their own house. Let's be honest, we had a massive amount of COVID in January because a massive amount of people didn't take any notice of the COVID restrictions over Christmas, and they didn't. Everyone knows they didn't. So, look, I think the government have done a bad thing by having their own party. They shouldn't do that. But it's this society we live in that their farts don't smell. well, you know what? It's disgusting that they had a party, because from Christmas Eve until New Year's Eve, I locked myself in the broom cupboard with a week's supply of water and a big box of Quality Street, and that was by Christmas. I spoke to nobody. I actually had to shit in the Quality Street tin and eat the chocolate as well. That's all I had. Politics. This is why I don't do politics. It's a horrible thing, and people get very passionate about it and think they're right. You're only right on your opinion. Some people don't share it. Deal with it. But I'm right. No, you're not right. You just have an opinion. Are you hanging up? You're sacking on you. Wow. We are in a 40 zone now. Christmas lists. I used to write a Christmas list all the way up until the age of about 26. Yeah, I did. I really don't. I'm not really that bothered about. Well, I'm not going to be that person who says I'm not really bothered about Christmas this year. That's not what I was going to say. I do enjoy Christmas. There are, hopefully, fingers crossed, some traditions I couldn't do last year that I will be able to do this year. Run around in the garden naked. Neighbours are away, so they won't complain. No, that one's a joke. No, but Christmas lunch down the pub for a couple of pints before Christmas dinner. I always loved that. Always loved that since I was about 16. Loved doing that. But yeah, Christmas lists. The reason I did a Christmas list up until my mid-20s is because I do like Christmas. I really used to love Christmas as a kid, and it sort of went into my early teens and early 20s. And I just probably worked in jobs I didn't really like, so I'd be getting quite excited about my research of what I wanted from probably mid-June. And as I said, I've always been very good at maths, so you could be really efficient with your Christmas list if you had a Christmas list, I found. And I never really understood why it had to stop when you're a kid. You know, like as a kid, everyone wants your Christmas list. And as an adult, it's like, nah, we'll just get you a bottle of whiskey or a Lynx Africa set, you know. And I think, well, no, why should you do that? My auntie's going to spend a tenner on me. There's a DVD I want. My grand's going to spend 30 quid on me. Push it up to 40 and get me a PS5 game, you know. And if you put it on a list and you get it to them, if they don't get it they've let you down. So always used to do a Christmas list. I don't do it anymore because I'm not so what do they call it? Greedy, materialistic. I don't know. So I'm not that bothered now. But one thing that is true, and it nearly caused me to have a divorce with Christmas lists, is, you know, as a kid you might have done this. You write a Christmas list, then you send it to Santa. Now, some people send it to Santa by putting a stamp on it and saying the North Pole. Massive stats I could give you on how many letters the Royal Mail get to send to the North Pole. And there's kids watching, so let's just leave it at that. But another way, and I don't know why, it doesn't make any bloody sense. You put it in your fireplace, and the next morning it's gone because it's gone up the fireplace to Santa. Now, what young Goldbridge did at about 9 was, and I nearly burnt the house down, so early warning if you're scared of fire. Imagine if you're not scared of fire. Burn me. No, I'm not. You're not scared. I like fire. I'm not in an arsonist way, but I do like fire. I like staring into the fire with a warm, you know, looking at it crackle. Snap, crackle and pop. Funny enough, I don't like Rice Krispies, but I do like fires. And they so basically I wrote my Christmas list when I was 8 or 9, and I was bored of sending it to the North Pole. I think we're out of envelopes, so I decided I'd go down the fireplace route, but didn't realise that you needed to leave it on in an empty fire, and decided to put it on a fire that was actually burning. But even better than that, nearly set the house on fire because this wasn't a normal coal fire. This was a British gas fire. And basically, if you put a piece of paper on a normal burning fire, it will just burn up and disappear. If you put it on a British gas fire, which is basically a gas fire, it can cause lots of problems. So that's what I did. To which the response was, you can't put a letter to Santa on a fire that's a British gas fire. It won't work. It won't work. You're stupid. Which sort of took a lot of the fun of Santa away from me. But the person who sent it to me will remain nameless. But yeah, don't put your letters, just don't send your letter. I mean, at the end of the day, idiot myself, because you go to all that effort of writing the letter to put it on a burning fire. It doesn't make any sense. And knowing what I know now, nobody's going to bloody read it if you burn it. Like, even, you know, your parents need to see that letter, is what I'm trying to say. Don't burn it. Put North Pole on it in an envelope, then they can open it up and read it and hopefully get you what you want. End of story. But thank you for joining me on this driving trip from Manchester back home. It's certainly making the M6 more appealing. To be fair, and I don't want to jinx it, the drive this morning was fine, and this has not been too bad so far either. Less people may be on the road. We might be heading into working from home territory again. Will we ever get rid of COVID? I don't know. Don't know. Is the honest answer to the question. But we need to get back to reality. What is reality? It's whatever your reality is. Cometh the hour, cometh the man or woman. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Anyway, I'm actually, my next video on this channel should be Goldbridge cooks Christmas dinner, which I am nervous about, but will be very rewarding for you because you'll get a video, but for me because I actually do love Christmas dinner. I've many a time mentioned it and I do really like it. It's a lovely, lovely dinner, and hopefully I can do it justice. But what are you like at buying people Christmas presents, I hear you say? I'm actually pretty good. I am actually good. I've always been very generous. I'm generous, Bridge. I've always been a very generous person. My weakness is my sweetness. That's a song. That's actually a song by what was her name? Dwight Gale. No, he plays front for Newcastle. Imagine him singing it. Michelle Gale. My weakness is my sweetness. I don't think that's the lyrics actually, now I think about it. But no, I do a good job of hiding how generous I am. I think I have this persona of being, you know, quite, I don't think rude's the word, sarcastic definitely, which can be deemed rude, but I have and am and are and is and am generous. So I always think that I always have the old adage that it's better to give too much than not enough, and that's why I've always been a very satisfying lover. No, that you didn't need to add that bit, but no, I am pretty much sorted, you know. I am pretty much sorted. I know that, to be honest, there's normally one or two presents that I haven't got, but I was looking the other day and I was like, you know, like when you forget some people and go, oh, forgot the wife again. No, don't forget her, she gets loads. But no, yeah, obviously I have to buy for the kids, nephews and stuff like that. I almost feel like you know, there are some really shit presents you can buy. And don't worry, if you're watching and you're a family member or friend, you won't be getting any of these. Top of the list, a Costa Coffee voucher. What? I hate money at Christmas. And vouchers are basically money. Oh, I've got you a John Lewis voucher. Great. That's money to spend at John Lewis. I haven't even got the freedom to spend it on petrol. I've got to spend it at John Lewis. Some people really like this sort of thing, but taking it to a Costa Coffee. Oh, you've got your. I know you like coffee, so I've got you a £20 Costa Coffee voucher. You wake up on Christmas morning, your mate has bought you. They've put it in a card. It's a Costa Coffee card. They haven't even bought you a proper Christmas card, and it says, "I know you love coffee, so I've got you one of these. Merry Christmas." And it's a card, like a credit card, that you spend at Costa Coffee. And you go, so there's 20 quid there that could have been a nice bottle of wine. You know, it could even have been from John Lewis, a nice bottle of red with a, I don't know, a slab of brie, something like that. One of them festive things where you get a drink and a bit of food. No, I've got 20 quid that's basically laminated with Costa Coffee card for me to spend at Costa Coffee. And the brilliant thing is you whack it into your phone, confused location tracer. Oh, Starbucks a mile away. Oh, another Starbucks 3 miles away. Costa Coffee 10 miles away. Swivel on it. Swivel on it. You bought me a Costa Coffee Christmas card voucher, and you haven't even seen if there's one near where I live. And it's not a fucking drive-through. I've actually got to go into town and walk. And what am I going to do with 20 quid? It's not enough. It's too much. I don't know what to do with it. One coffee will be about £5, so I've got to go 4 fucking times now. Think it through. I bet they're there smug. What did you get for Mark? Oh, you'll never guess what I got him. You know he likes coffee. Yeah, I bought him a Costa Coffee voucher. Oh, you'll love that. I can imagine him now loving it. Yeah, you can't imagine me now loving it, because I'm not loving it. I'm mad. I'm mad, Mark, on Christmas Day morning because of your crap present. Just next year, stick 20 quid in a bloody envelope. Don't write Merry Christmas on it. I'll get it. I'll understand. Yeah, but I just don't get that sort of thing. I mean, I was at the cinema the other day. I'll tell you what, I've been very greedy with the cinema recently. I've been to see 4 films in 6 weeks. I was at House of Gucci. I actually really enjoyed it, apart from somebody who I'll talk about in a minute. Unbelievable, Jeff. But yeah, well, before the film came on, you get the normal trailers. You know, the older I've got going to the cinema as well, this is a tactic I'm sure many of you've got. You know, so if you're going to go and watch a film like the Spider-Man film and it says it's a 1 o'clock showing, do you get there early? For years and years, I would get to the cinema at least 10 minutes before the allotted 1 o'clock showing. But obviously, you get there, you're sat in a cinema just on your arse. At 1 o'clock, they might play a few adverts. At 1:15, they'll start playing trailers for 15 minutes. The film doesn't start until 1:30. So now I just walk in at 1:10, and you get a few tuts from people who've been there 20 minutes earlier, but that's because they're idiots. They've not cottoned on to what we've cottoned on to. And especially in the modern world where you get allocated seats, there is absolutely no point in being there. You know, I'm thinking of pushing it until like literally 2 minutes before. But yeah, anyway, on these trailers they were doing these cinema cards that you can get for Christmas. Now that to me is still very annoying, but isn't terrible, because you could open it up on Christmas Day morning. You can't actually go to the cinema on Christmas Day, because so you could be, look, tomorrow we're going to the cinema, 30 quid, we can all go. So not too bad, but I've never really been a big fan of vouchers. And money in a card, forget about it. I'll chuck it on the fire with the letter. Don't care whether it's British Gas or real, it's going on the fire. Money for Christmas, some people love it. Not me, I bloody hate it. It's just no, Christmas for me is about opening something up. You know, cash may as well just go in my wallet. Anyway, at the cinema the other day, what good film, House of Gucci. I really enjoyed it, but my God. So on our row, but further down, is this couple, right? First 20 minutes, dead quiet, didn't notice anything. 20 minutes in, Russell. That's not the wife talking to Russell, her husband. Like, I mean, rustling in the bag, making a noise. And I sort of noticed it for a couple of minutes. And then after about 10 minutes, it was just constant. Like, they were just constantly going in this bag, and you could hear a little bit of chomping. It went on for about 40 minutes. I'm like, two things. One, you very inconsiderate evil bastards. And two, who eats 40 minutes? What are you putting in your mouth for 40 minutes? Like, there's some things I wouldn't mind. No, but look, when I'm eating popcorn in a cinema, I'm getting a good shovel hand each time. You know, I'm going shoo, and then you eat some, like you're getting a good wad basically. If it's M&Ms, they're gone in about 5 minutes. So what were they rustling at for 40 minutes? They must have been eating like a sparrow. But the thing is, they were rustling around for a good bit of popcorn. Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get what they were doing for 40 minutes. But good film. Probably even better if you haven't got a rustling twat on the same row as you eating popcorn. But no, I did enjoy that. I do like the cinema. It's one thing I didn't realise how much I missed through COVID. Love the cinema, and I hope it doesn't die out, cinema, because it's one of those things that's old school that cannot be beaten by technology. You can't beat it. You know, VR might have a word. Well, you know, put a virtual reality headset on and the cinema's better. No. Cinema will always be brilliant. Massive screen, sound effects, good film, and then the atmosphere of being in a theatre. Yeah. So love a bit of theatre. Love a bit of cinema. And I suppose that brings me on to something I've probably discussed in the past. Oh, let me just finish about presents. Presents, it's your presents. I've always been a good giver of presents, and I'm not going to say anything about receivers because you'll just make it sexual. But on a couple of occasions I have been naughty. I've probably mentioned it before. If I have, skip it, because there's a good bit in a minute. But if I haven't, I did it twice, but the worst one was this. It was Christmas Eve, babe, and Goldbridge was drunk in the pub, and he hadn't wrapped his presents up. Da, 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 da. I'm not going to sing the story, but I was down the local pub on Christmas Eve, which I used to love. I actually like to go to the pub on Christmas Eve as well. Basically, I like to go to the pub on Boxing Day, New Year's. I like the pub at Christmas. It's a bit like the fire thing again. I'm quite if there's a log fire, I'm enthralled by it. I can stare at it, the fire crackling around the coal and the logs. There's a beauty in the eye. But I also have that same thing about pubs at Christmas. You know, when they've got like the fairy lights and there's a fire and I could sit there with a pint and quite happily while away in the afternoon. So yeah, Christmas Eve I like to be down the pub. But this particular Christmas Eve, I think I'd gone down the pub at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You get involved. You see people you haven't seen for a while, you know, especially if you're from a village or something, or a community. People come back, don't they, from London. Oh, look. Oh, James is back from London. Didn't you used to go to school with him? Yes, I did. And yes, you've just said it without saying it. What? Well, you've basically just said James is back for Christmas from London. Didn't you used to go to school for him? But what you've actually said is James is very successful and lives in London, has a great job and a beautiful wife. You still live at home with your parents and are still doing a paper round at 19. Anyway, you're down the local pub, and I'm not better. You get down that local pub, and you get involved. It's not a normal October night, is it, with the same crowd? There'll be people there you haven't seen for a while. You've had a few drinks, your ex walks in, it's Christmas, he's playing on the thing, but that's got nothing to do with it. Anyway, you get involved, and I got involved, and my sister is a few years younger than me, not old enough to be in the pub. She's probably doing the karaoke to Whitney Houston, and actually this is a true story as well. Used to do karaoke quite a lot in our local pub, and my sister would always fancied herself as a bit of a singer, and this actually did happen. There was 2 bars in our local pub. I don't know if it's there anymore. It's called the Checkers, and they had a front bar and a back bar. The back bar was a little bit for like they'd always have parties in there, or the older crowd, and the front bar was at the pool table and the TV screens and stuff, so it was for the younger crowd. And one Saturday night, and this is not Christmas Eve now, this is a different story, we'll come back to Christmas Eve, it's how I do it. This one particular night, they were doing a karaoke, and the toilets were actually in the back bar. So one of the lads I was playing pool with came in and said, they're doing karaoke. I said, I know, I can hear it, and that'll be that singing noise. And they went, no, your sister's doing karaoke. I was like, all right, this is my moment. It wasn't Martine McCutcheon, but I said, this is my moment. He said, what are you doing? It's your shot. I said, this will be even better. I went and got a stool from the bar, carried it through into the back bar. It was quite busy at the time because people were like dancing and stood up, and I stood on the stool at the back. She was halfway through Near or Far, and I was quite far away. Near, far, wherever you are. I said, I'm here. You're rubbish. Boo. It's a shame. It's a good job Ronaldo wasn't around then, because she'd probably think I was praising her, saying "Soo." I wasn't. I was booing. And it was, I was a bit of a leery little shit in them days, because the bar was quite busy, and it had never been done before. But I booed her from a stool, and no one pushed me off. I was going boo, and then you had people go, oh, get off, leave her alone, don't be like that. I just booed, and then I got bored of it and went back and played pool. It's even putting a smile on my face now. But anyway, yeah, this was Christmas Eve, babe, and we were in the pub, and it got to about 1 o'clock in the morning, and my sister and her boyfriend came over to me and said, I think you've had enough. I said, I'll tell you when I've had enough. I'll tell you when did I ask you if I've had enough? I'll tell you when I've had enough. And my sister must have said, look, we'll be up at 7 tomorrow morning, because our younger brother will be wanting us to open presents with him and stuff, and you're going to be hungover as it is. So anyway, they persuaded me to walk back with them, and we on the way back I sort of sobered up a little bit and realised I hadn't actually wrapped all my presents. And I was like, you know that sort of like thing you had at school or at work, where you haven't done a project and it's Sunday night, and you've been putting it off, and then you're like, on Sunday night you're like, you know what, I'll get up an hour early tomorrow to get it done, and you never did. You just didn't get it done. I was almost like that, drunk on Christmas Eve at 1:30 in the morning in the living room, going, I know what I'll do. I'll just get up early tomorrow and wrap everything up, which would never happen on a hangover when you've got a younger brother who's going to get up earlier. So I was like, I had 2 choices really: either wrap them up or get my sister to wrap them up for me. So I said, will you wrap my presents up for me if I make you a cup of tea and give you a £5? And she quite kindly said yes, she would. But the best of it is, I went to get the presents and I said, oh, actually I have wrapped them all up, it's just these 4 that need wrapping up. And it was some sort of cosmetics or something like that. But the reality is, the next day when she opened up her presents, she realised she'd wrapped them up herself, because the only presents I hadn't wrapped were hers. So she ended up wrapping her own presents, which was stupid on my part because I paid her a fiver to wrap her own presents. What I should have done in hindsight is said, I haven't wrapped your presents up. Merry Christmas. I'm not making you a cup of tea and I'm not giving you a fiver. Night. But yeah, I did do that. I did do that. Crappiest Christmas present I've ever had. You know what? I've buried. I'm editing that out. I've you know when you do something, like I've been doing a lot of content for a long time, you can sort of get away with, oh, it's a question from somebody and make it about a topic you want to talk about. But that, I've just exposed myself there. Crappiest Christmas present you're right. Like I've read it off Twitter or I've had a phone call. Like that's just come out of your own head. You can't blame that topic on anyone. You've just come up with it yourself, and I can't answer it now because what if they're watching? Crappiest Christmas present I've ever had. Well, look, we've all had crap Christmas presents. I remember I really used to like royal family, not the Queen. Got nothing against the Queen. I said that a bit vindictively. Not the Queen. No, you know, like Rosie and Jim. No, Jim and Barbara, and you know, half the world away, half the world away. Yeah, that royal family. So I got this bloody soap that said my arse on it because Jim always used to say my arse. I just found it a bit weird. Soap with the words my arse on it. So that was a crap present. But we've all had crap gimmick presents. What about a crap present that cost a lot of money? Oh, that's dangerous territory, Goldbridge. You're not going to sit here and tell us a crap present that someone spent a lot of money on you for you, are you? Yep. No hesitation. I'm just trying to think. There's quite a few. Got to be careful though, because I might have asked for it. Like I did get a bread maker, but I did ask my dad for it, so that's not a crap present. I wanted it. I've not made any bread with it, but it's in the garage somewhere. But one day I will make bread. One day I'm gonna make bread and feed my family. So yeah, one day I'm gonna use that. I'm trying to think. I know of some terrible presents. I know of people who no word of a lie. Why do men do this? I'm going to be sexist here, but why do you do this? I've been told this 3 or 4 times before. The wife's not talking to me. The wife's left me for a couple of days. Why? Well, Christmas was going really well. We had a lovely Christmas Eve, went down the local, we had a meal, we came back, she even let me do this and all that. Unbelievable, Jeff. It actually ran out. I didn't even realise it ran out. I carried on talking for another hour and I didn't realise that I didn't really. I did realise it had gone about 10 minutes later when I saw it wasn't flashing. But look, that was the end of the road trip basically. But to tell the story, it really goes a bit like this. I know a few people who at Christmas have bought their other halves washing machines and tumble dryers and dishwashers, and then wonder why they're eating beans on toast for Christmas dinner as their wife gets in the car and drives into the sunset or the snow. Yeah, not advisable unless they actually say to you, I'd really love a dishwasher for Christmas. Don't think, oh, that's a 300 quid dishwasher, it's top of the range. It sends completely the wrong message. It's like getting an iron. Do not buy your other half an iron. It says do the ironing. Do not buy them a washing machine. It says do the washing. So ultimately, you're probably better off getting them a vibrator. At least they can get some enjoyment out of it on their own and with you. Which, look, in the modern world, diversity. But yeah, don't go buying them washing machines. I fail to understand, and maybe some of you are watching going, I did that. Maybe it's something I'm not in a man's head, but in the modern world, it could be a woman's head. That what is it that makes you think? It's the birth of the idea. Oh, I don't know what to get them for Christmas. They'll really love a brand new top of the range washing machine. I can't wait for them to open it. Yeah, not a good idea. Not a good idea. But I'm still struggling to think what the crappiest present I've ever had for Christmas is, because, as I said, I've had the soap on a rope nonsense, but there must be a big present I've had where I've gone, that's absolute rubbish, but smiled. I've told this story before, we actually did film when I was a bit younger. I was probably about 14. We had one of these camcorders and we filmed, I didn't film it, but filmed us opening our presents. It had to get deleted because whilst my siblings were quite happy when they were opening their presents, every time they panned to me, I'd open it up and be just quite cutting. I go, oh look, books from the grandparents. Yeah, I'm really going to read about World War One. But are they in it? But the worst thing is that I chuck the book. It's like, it really doesn't have any rewatch value for the people who bought the presents for you. Bit of a shit. Anyway, please smash a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Quite a long one today. Hopefully next week we're going to have cooking Christmas dinner with Goldbridge. Can't wait for the stress factor on that. But sorry we didn't finish it in the car, but we did finish it. Smash a like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll speak to you all soon.